Oh dear. The Little Mermaid. Not looking good for China. For Disney. In China, anyway. Looking real bad. Real bad. Disney relies heavily on China at this point in time. Now, The Little Mermaid is, of course, a remake, a live-action remake that a lot of people have questioned and gone, why are you even bothering? Just is what it is. It's creative bankruptcy. Rather than creating anything new, they're just going through their back catalogue, adapting things. It also speaks to a lot of what they're trying to do with respect to rights retainers, because a lot of this, believe it or not, is coming up for public domain. And I believe adapting things in this manner puts it under a new copyright anyway. So make no mistake, some of this is creative bankruptcy, some of it is money-hungry, greedy tomfoolery from Disney. But it's going to backfire, basically. Disney's worst opening. The Little Mermaid is floundering in China. Now, this is over on Bleeding Fool. That's right, not Bleeding Cool, but Bleeding Fool, friends of the channel. In fact, we literally just had Chris from Bleeding Fool over on the podcast, which you can find linked down below in the description box, the channel to it. Anyway, that podcast will be uploaded momentarily. But yeah, this is over on Bleeding Fool. Please do give them a check out. And they basically chronicling the sales, the pre-sales in China. It's looking real bad. Really bad. Now, this gets released on Friday. I know what I'll be watching this week. It certainly won't be this. It'll be Sisu over in theatres, because I cannot wait for that. That looks fucking epic. So before its debut on Friday, an online entertainment expert asserted that Disney's live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid is having trouble garnering attention in communist China. The unnecessary live-action remake's pre-sales started on Friday at the Chinese box office, but the movie appears to be having a struggle to generate interest in what may be the largest market in the world. And it is. Doesn't mean you need to placate to them, but they really do love getting in on China. They love it. Hollywood loves going balls deep in China if they can. Alright? So Hollywood films are notoriously underrepresented in China, especially recently. There was like a blacklist from Hollywood in China. They just weren't allowed in there, and then they got opened back up recently. I think it was this year. Now, patrons are pressured to instead pay for homemade patriotic communist propaganda, extolling the virtues of the Chinese Communist Party and the People's Liberation Army. It's very much everything's propaganda over there, for the most part, of course. And this isn't a rag on Chinese people. You guys are lovely. I've interacted with some of you when I was over in Thailand, for instance. Really nice people. Genuinely lovely people. Just unfortunately have a pretty shitty regime overpowering you. So entertainment commentator Luis Fernando, well known for offering accurate box office reports and predictions, posted over the weekend that only around $4,000 in pre-sales was sold for The Little Mermaid Friday for the cinema schedule of May. That's the entirety of May, $4,000 for 3 days, 25th, 26th, well, more than that, so the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th. So 4-day weekend, essentially, which amounts to a disastrous opening week if things don't improve. Now, that is true. That is absolutely true. That's not good. That will be one of the worst openings ever for a Hollywood tentpole film in China. That's something genuinely bad. Genuinely bad. Now, he says here, meanwhile in China, box office ticket pre-sales for The Little Mermaid show no signs of reaction. Disney's live action finished Sunday with a scary $13,000 total after 3 days of pre-sales for the whole of May 25th to 28th period. Could be the worst opening ever for Hollywood tentpole in China. So, a little bit of a difference, 13,000. But you got to remember that Disney barely takes any of that money home. I think the split is 30-70. 70 to communist China. 30 to Disney. It's really bad over there. It's not the same as the States. The deals that they get over in different countries, especially China, is utterly atrocious. And it always baffles me why they really want to push over there, because maybe it's exposure, potentially, I guess. But it's just one of those things that you look at and you go, the percentage is so bad. Why are you teabagging them just for that? It's awful. Now, of course, the paid Disney bots and shills are blaming this on racism, which is pretty textbook. So they're coming out here and saying, not surprising considering the racism. Luckily, it's expected to do amazing everywhere else. Is it though? We will see. So not that this Disney NPC is off base, it's fairly well known. The odd decisions of Chinese advertisements for Hollywood movies have given rise to claims of anti-black bigotry. Most notably in 2015, a poster for Star Wars The Force Awakens was issued that placed the main character Finn, who's played by John Boyega, obviously black, in the background of the picture. The Independent pointed that out on the Chinese billboard. The size of the Finn character was even less than that of BB-8 droid. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, you can barely see him. Look, he's right there. Hollywood's one, Chinese one. Hollywood's one, Chinese one. And this is, I mean, yeah. I mean, the alternate poster for The Little Mermaid, it's a beautiful poster, but they have changed their skin color. See, this is a really nice poster, right? This is a Chinese IMAX poster. It's a really nice work of art. This is probably as complimentary as I'm going to be about this film. But this is a really nice poster. You know, they've changed all the colouring. It's blue hues. It's beautiful. It's a really, really nice poster. But they've made it look blue, not black. And that's intentional. Everything from Disney on this front will be intentional to try to coerce people into watching the film. So anyway, it went even further. June Part 1 posters, by the way, would eliminate black characters altogether. So this is just to highlight the elements that go on in China. In one country that wouldn't account for the Little Mermaid trailer, accumulated 2.1 million dislikes on YouTube as of Friday afternoon, while the number of likes stands at 328,000 according to a Google Chrome extension that unblocks the dislikes button. So it's not looking good. Not looking good. You know, and they say obviously the anti-black sentiment won't account for the Little Mermaid trailer accumulating such bad dislikes, and that is true. It's because it just looks like crap. Which is what could have led to the star to be feeling microaggressions towards normal questions from the international press. But Disney had to know that race swapping one of their most popular animated characters was going to create some challenges. Halle Bailey does not deserve this kind of pressure, and that is true. And they do this. Amazon did this with the Lord of the Rings. So they just wheel out the black actors and go, here you go, here's the shield. We will shield ourselves from all criticism from, you know, by using you as a human shield. It's disgraceful. It's funny that the racists are clinging to China, who are known for being extremely racist towards black people and ignoring everywhere else in the world. People just being like, you're changing it up. That's not racism. That's just a fact. They did change it up. So it's a bit odd. So anyway, not much else really to go into here. This could be one of the worst openings in China ever. And what does that tell you? I mean, you know, we got blacklisted. Hollywood was blacklisted from China for quite a long time. They've only just opened it back up. Is it worthwhile placating to Chinese? If that's the issue, probably not. Especially with such a small percentage of revenue that you take from there as well. But it's looking like it's going to bomb there. That will be a large portion of what Disney wants to be successful, because the domestic box office hasn't proven to be a huge hit lately for Disney properties. It just hasn't. So I do wonder whether they are worried by this. Let me know what you think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care.